of a sloppy track here at Soldier Field. Still getting some of the wraparound rain bands of a low-pressure system that's hovered over Chicago the last couple of days. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Set to go now on a wet and rainy afternoon. And off we go from Soldier Field. And he is out of bounds here on the return. That's complete right side to Kmet. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. These two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. And that will be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Let's make a play here.
And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. They'll get it across the 35. It'll be 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now Lawrence to throw. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
And we're going to see this offense try and spread the field a little bit and utilize the outside 3rd of the field, especially against man coverage. But that time, the defense was up to the task, forcing the incompletion.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. And this one is incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. Pulled in at the 24. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
19 Lions. Back to 60.
Now Perkins. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
The extra point hitting the right upright, but it caroms home, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone. This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now Jackson. Open man is Kmet, the tight end. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Just a gain of a couple there. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. On 3rd down, Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And where did this one go out? Now they'll start with good field position, 45-yard line. play action. It's Lawrence. He finds his man, complete. It's Knight. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins.
And this is caught. So they hit pay dirt, but don't count it yet. There's laundry on the field. We'll see what the penalty flag is about. Now they face a second and long following the holding penalty. From midfield now, Lawrence. He's airing it out for Williams. And this is caught. And in for the Lions touchdown. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you give the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. The drive will start with an option going left. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Hey, Alpha's hot. It's hot.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a third down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. To throw is Perkins. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first.
And that's well executed there on third down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Jackson now. Oh, looking for Waller, but this is intercepted. Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick 6.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the second quarter.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Second and 8 coming up.
13. Yo. Whoa. Nice shot. Report.
Now it's Jackson. Over the middle, and that's caught by Kmet. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10. They'll send a receiver in motion left. On first and 10, it's Jackson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Well, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack, taken down at the 2. The sack will push him back only a couple yards, but certainly not what they were hoping for on first and goal. They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on second and goal?
A snap to Lawrence as he taps this forward.
And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Lions are able to widen their lead here in this first half. And the kick here no good, but a penalty flag is down. Looks like he got run into, so they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
Real quick.
He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll try and run for the first with Dillon. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
A throw over the middle taken in. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Hands it off out of the gun. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. A really nice effort that time. 12 yards on the keeper, picking up the first. And he'll spot Higgins open left side. And he is going to lose yardage here. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Throwing is Jackson. And that one complete once again to Higgins. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. They'll try to run it in, going option right. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
Quick strike out wide by Jackson. Touchdown, Bears! Odell Beckham, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears get a bit closer. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And the lead now down to 20. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all the time when you sit on the ball. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get in position for at least 3 points.
2nd and 10 now. It's Lawrence.
That'll be caught. It's St. Brown. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one good for 26 and a first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch,
and that is caught at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jameson Williams.
His second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
On 2nd down and 4, Jackson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. They'll set up to throw.
He'll get that complete to his tight end, Kmet.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's entered.
Oh, they try a lateral on the return, and now the ball's loose. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago.
And that's got to be so disappointing for a defense. You force the fumble, think you got a chance at a turnover, and instead, not only do you give up the football, you also give up a touchdown as well.
Yeah, you just think to yourself, you've done all the hard work, right? You forced the fumble, but when they didn't come up with it, I think they relaxed a little bit or maybe lost their focus as well, and it ended up turning out to be a touchdown against them.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And with Lawrence's arm, they may give him a shot to let this thing rip downfield. We'll see.
He's airing it out for Williams, and this is going to be intercepted.
picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Taken at the goal line. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So a turnover there on the kickoff, and don't look now, but that just made things a little more interesting.
Very interesting, because when you're trailing in a game, these are the mistakes that you pray for. You just went down and scored. Now you get the football right back with another great opportunity.
A throw left side taken in by Kmet. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
Hey. No, we change it.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Jackson. And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Lamar Jackson with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Bears are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead will be cut down to 14. The Bears send the kicking team out there, and they will send this one away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Their lead down from 21 to 14, but still sitting at a great spot, up 2 scores here in the 3rd quarter. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them, and they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Jackson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Lions are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys, they've been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
He's got a man, complete. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamison Williams, 76 yards. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right after a turnover, you count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Well, we've certainly seen this before, CD. No one can quite electrify a crowd like Lamar Jackson, and really don't know what else to say other than that was special right there.
I think you pretty much said it all, but I go back to what you said about electrifying a crowd. He's also electrifying us, and we're calling the game. This guy is simply sensational.
Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead will be cut down to 14. The Bears send the kicking team out there, and they will send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 47. Lawrence. He's airing it out for Williams. And this is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamison Williams, 47 yards. And the Lions have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Lions have recovered. So problems compounding themselves here on the return. They just give up the touchdown, and now they lose the football.
Yeah, partner, things are starting to unravel a little bit for them right in front of our eyes. They're going to be looking for some answers, and quickly.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Here's Lawrence to throw. Touchdown! Jamison Williams, a 20-yard touchdown. And the Lions get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Really good effort. He does it himself, picks up 15, also picks up the first down. Throw right side going to be caught by Waller. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll make it 2nd down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 44-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
Throwing is Perkins.
He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
To throw is Jackson. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 20-yard line. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take it.
Well, still in the 3rd quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Jackson going to run again. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
So he is able to turn that into positive yardage, but I think it's fair to say that those are not the shots you're wanting your quarterback to have to absorb.
And he has to know sometimes when to say when. You have to know when to give yourself up, and let's face it, not easy for these guys to do because they're competitors as well. But sometimes you do learn your lesson the hard way, as he did there.
We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. He's got it. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
And with the scoreboard against them here in the 4th quarter, this was definitely 4-down territory. Really nice job there finding a way to get open, and a really nice throw. That sets them up with 1st and goal.
It looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for 1st and goal.
Jackson's going to try the sneak, and he is over the line for another rushing touchdown.
Is he a quarterback or is he a tailback?
Lamar Jackson keeping it himself from a yard out. Oh, and now they're going to fake it.
And the Bears get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit.
And he gets into the end zone. We'll give him credit. They're not going to take this deficit lying down. They get 2 closer here on the fake extra point.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions. Oh, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence. Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football.
Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start by running the option to the right. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Jackson. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Just a loss of a yard there, but it's not going to help. Now they face a 3rd and 14.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Open man, it's complete to Higgins.
Touchdown, Bears!
T. Higgins,
34 yards.
and the Bears have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that cuts this lead down to 13. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. What was once a really comfortable lead is not so comfortable anymore. Down to a 2-score game after they've seen a pair of touchdowns go against them on those last 2 drives.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to get off of autopilot right now, okay? Get back to what was working for them earlier. Understand that they still have a 2-score lead, so it's not dire, but at the same time, okay, guys, let's mash the gas. Let's get going again. Let's have some fun.
Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. That pass caught, it's Williams.
20, 10, 5, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams,
75 yards.
and the Lions add on to their lead, and they are also closing in on a 5th straight victory. Lawrence going to look to throw for it.
And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves them with 3rd and long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
The Bears on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 7. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Excellent job on the keeper. 20 yards and a 1st down.
I'd sure love to offer some advice to the defensive coordinator, but his guys are just getting run over by an offense that's executing like a well-oiled machine.
And now Jackson will look to throw it.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
To throw again on second down. Jackson, it's caught. Beckham. And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. And he is going to lose yardage here.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. He'll get a couple of yards on the keeper, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
They're going on 4th down. It's Jackson. That's complete to his tight end, Waller.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with a football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Now Perkins.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle him for just a short gain.
On 3rd down, they're going to go with the option. They'll get a couple of yards on the keeper, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw.
And he'll be brought down at the 27.
4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. And for a second straight play, the Lion defense drops him behind the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense.